On Beyond the Gates, when Nicole and Carlton navigated her post-divorce waters, Tomas got ribbed about his bone, and Haley planted seeds to capitalize on Leslie's larcenous ways. On Beyond the Gates, Bill wasn't certain that the subdued Tomas was ready for a case. Finally, seeing that Tomas was in pain, Bill asked his underling what was wrong, but Tomas claimed he just needed more sleep. Caroline entered and also noted that Tomas didn't look good. She thought a visit from the arriving cat would cheer him. Bill took great pleasure in telling the couple that Tomas needed an ice pack and that he just needed to stand firm, whether in business or relationships. The lawyer rolled his eyes when Kat claimed Tomas had been injured riding his bike. Kat walked out as Bill persisted in making jokes about Tomas getting hurt during lovemaking. Leslie watched Nicole meeting Danny at the country club. Danny offered for her and her sister to go elsewhere, but Nicole affirmed that she was the one who belonged there. Nicole was impressed with Danny's restraint in not confronting their nemesis. Danny said she would gladly show up for Nicole against Leslie if needs be. Leslie phoned Eva, exhorting her to join her for a meal, but Eva saw Isaiah at Uptown and decided to stick around. Danny asked into Smitty and Martin's vow renewal ceremony. Nicole explained her difficulty in watching a recommitment just after her divorce had become final, especially with Ted present as well. When Nicole became quiet about how she'd handled her situation, Danny knew that her sister had pulled something. Nicole sheepishly admitted that she had seen Ted in an attempt to wrap up unfinished business. But before she could elaborate, Haley interrupted. Haley had heard about Nicole's final decree, though neither Nicole nor Danny wanted any of her sympathy. Leslie watched with interest and invited Haley to her table, but Haley refused. "Tormenting the locals is your speciality, not mine," Mrs. Hamilton snarked as Leslie implied that she was afraid for them to be seen together. Leslie crowed that Haley's husband had tried and failed to squelch her dream of living across from the Duprees, with Haley retorting that Bill shouldn't be underestimated. Leslie allowed that she and Haley were both expert at shaking up the status quo, having gotten inside the gates in their own ways. "Imagine what we can accomplish if we pooled our resources," Ms. Thomas marveled. Haley considered Leslie a wild card and didn't think it would behoove her to befriend someone who hated her husband. Danny understood Nicole's implication that she might have slept with Ted had his hotel's fire alarm not gone off, and had often wondered herself what it would be like to go there with Bill. Nicole asserted that they couldn't go back and divulged that she had been able to forgive her ex. The Dupree sisters saw Haley in conference with Leslie and didn't like the sight of it. Haley did her best to hold it together when Leslie said she could see right through Haley's Sunday school act. Leslie wanted to know what Haley's endgame was, sensing that her relationship with Bill was on the skids. Calling Bill a bottom feeder, Leslie took guesses at what Haley might be doing to him, even volunteering her help, should Haley need it. Haley got up to leave. Leslie barely blinked when Haley menacingly told her to stay out of her way. Danny saw and concluded that Leslie had to be the worse of the two, if even Haley couldn't be in the same room with her. Nicole coolly told her sibling that Leslie's presence didn't bother her anymore, because Leslie wasn't standing between Nicole and anything she wanted. Danny thought it pathetic that Leslie was still grooving on a man who hasn't looked at her since the Macarena was number one. Nicole had to sit Danny back down when she passed on that Ted had done more than look at Leslie. "Recently, you are too nice." Danny frowned upon not being allowed to give Leslie her beatdown for sleeping with Ted. She wanted her sister to break some rules and be with whoever she wanted. Nicole wasn't going to use Carlton for revenge. Danny thought that unnecessary and deemed that if Ted had a problem with Nicole dating his friend and business partner, Ted could take it up with the Department of who gives a flying fig. Nicole relented when Danny said she would go over and cause a stink with Leslie if Nicole didn't contact Carlton that moment. Isaiah told Eva that he had aced his interview at Banneker and been immediately offered a position. He became more humble and said that his passion for his work just naturally shone through. "People tripped themselves up when they tried to be somebody else," he added. Eva could relate. She got curious when Isaiah hadn't readily accepted the new job. When he indicated that he had other people to consider first, Eva deduced that Isaiah had a past. The young Mr. Hawthorne confirmed that he was fresh off a breakup with a girl named Yolanda, and noticed that Eva seemed to have been through her own recent heartache. Eva could tell that Isaiah was having second thoughts about returning to the DMV after his relationship had ended. Isaiah wondered if the distance really meant things with Yolanda were over. Isaiah apologized for oversharing, but Eva found it refreshing that they could get important things out on the table, instead of hiding them like most people did. Isaiah respected that Eva didn't want to be a rebound girl. They exchanged numbers after agreeing to hang out, but Kat approached them, hoping that Eva hadn't roped Isaiah into one of her schemes. "That bitch is crazy," Kat warned Isaiah. "And you're obsessed," Eva retorted. Kat went over how she and Eva had met, with Eva having rummaged through Nicole's personal files. Eva decided to excuse herself when Kat insisted on telling their entire story, but Isaiah didn't want Eva to leave. Isaiah was shocked to hear that Kat and Eva were sisters. "You thought your family was complicated?" Eva asked. "Just wait." Once Eva was gone, Kat said that Isaiah owed her a drink for saving his life. "So Eva is my sister-in-law Naomi's cousin's half-sister," Isaiah tried to understand. Kat said that Eva and her mother would do anything to be a part of their family, which was how Eva had even been born. Ms. Richardson laid out Ted's affair with Leslie. Isaiah listened as Kat spilled the tea about how Eva had snatched up her boyfriend. Tomas Desaya was glad that Kat had worked things out with Tomas, but hadn't pegged Eva for the dangerous seductress type. Kat told Isaiah to take her warnings as he would after he decided he could handle Eva, reminding him that he hadn't been in town for a while. She just wanted Isaiah to watch his back. Eva came home to find Leslie there retrieving a jacket she had left behind. Leslie saw Eva's sour mood and inquired about it. Eva ranted that Kat should be happy she'd met someone else besides Tomas. "Kat might act like an angel," she seethed, "but you don't get that cold and that bitchy overnight." Leslie correctly predicted that Kat had told the new boy all kinds of lies about her, but was at least glad that Eva was catching on to what Kat was really like. Leslie wanted to know how Eva had left things with the new guy and if she had defended herself. "Lord," Leslie exclaimed when she found out that Eva had simply left. Eva ignored Leslie's tirade that she had to be better at going after what she wanted, but she did seem to consider things when Leslie expounded that Eva needed to be responsible for her own happiness. "Stop letting them win," Leslie demanded. Bill finished up making a generous donation to a charity in his and Haley's name as Haley came in with lunch for the two of them. Leslie described running into that Leslie woman and how she had been frightened by her. Bill wasn't surprised, but Haley was concerned about Leslie's talk of ruining Bill and leaving him with nothing. "She had this look in her eyes," Haley continued. Bill wanted to start documenting any harassment and swore to have Leslie's country club membership revoked. In Bill's arms, Haley snickered to herself. After Bill joked that his wife was no longer trying to extend his lifespan by serving him Orphy Jean's mac and cheese, Haley shrugged that Bill would only have gone out for a burger had she brought him tofu. Caroline returned for documents Bill had signed and asked if Haley had gotten the number she was looking for. Haley smiled through gritted teeth that she had. Bill wanted to know what number Haley had needed. Not wanting Bill to find out she had been searching through his laptop for his life insurance policy, Haley lied that she had taken down a number relating to one of Bill's cases. The Hamiltons. Laughed over Tomas and his penile predicament. Bill then said he had suspicions about what had caused his second stroke. Haley's own bedroom antics. Haley liked Bill's suggestion of meeting her at home to do some exploring, and Haley grinned that, unlike Tomas, she would leave him in one piece. Nicole liberally sprayed Febreze in her office before Carlton came through her door, responding to her text. Carlton was glad to hear that Nicole was in better spirits than she'd been at their last meeting. Nicole struggled to bring herself to say that any move she might make towards him might seem inappropriate, given their long history as friends, plus Carlton and Ted's business relationship. Carlton thought that Nicole was trying to let him down easy, but Nicole negated that idea. Carlton wasn't as convinced as Nicole that their seeing each other could cause problems. Nicole worried about the reactions of Ted and their children. Carlton expressed a willingness to break off his partnership with Ted should that become necessary. Nicole apologized for getting ahead of herself. When there was something she wanted, she tended to examine every possible outcome. Carlton liked that Nicole looked at the bigger picture and accepted her invitation to dinner. June found Samantha at the diner in the middle of the day. The teen was on a work project, tallying up the sales of Chelsea Cat's purses. After June moved on, Nathan sat with Samantha, who wanted to know why he had ghosted her. June observed disapprovingly as Nathan assured Samantha that his phone had been taken away as punishment and that he was all right with the fact that Samantha didn't want to have sex. Their conversation became charged as they each admitted that they liked the other. They were about to kiss when June banged a chair to distract them. The sparks kept flying. So June returned to Nathan and Samantha's table to try to take their order. Nathan complained, "It ain't like y'all busy," when June pressed the issue. After June left, Nathan snapped that she wasn't getting a tip, but Samantha shared that June was new and that there was no need to make things harder for her. Turning to Samantha's cutting room floor modeling snaps, Nathan raved over the images and liked one particular outfit. "I want to see it on you," he heaved, "so I can take it off you." When Nathan moved to kiss Samantha, June used the milkshake she was placing to divide them, then accidentally spilled the frozen treat onto Nathan's lap. The waitress sent the boy out to cool yourself off. Samantha was furious that June had interfered with her date. June countered that Samantha had said she was going to work on a school project with a friend and reiterated that the girl was supposed to be in class. Samantha knew better, June fumed, and Nathan didn't respect her besides. Samantha labeled June worse than her parents. At least they didn't assault the boys she was interested in. Beyond the Gates airs weekdays on CBS and streams on Paramount+.